Today's Domain Sherpa review is fun and informative. We discuss some ways to envision a brand from a domain name, and we also discuss what not to do when looking for a niche domain. Enjoy the show. Hey, Sherpa Network. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Tess Diaz, executive producer of DomainSherpa.com, and this is the Domain Sherpa Review. This is a show where we get into the minds of successful domain name investors using real examples so we can learn strategies and tactics to become better investors ourselves. We have 3 segments to the review. We'll start off learning what the Sherpas recently bought or sold. Next, we'll discuss in value an investor-submitted domain name portfolio. And finally, we'll preview some domains going to auction soon at NameJet.com and whether the Sherpas think they're a good investment opportunity for you. Joining us today on the Domain Sherpa Review are 3 past Sherpas and industry thought leaders. We have Shane Coltra of DSAD. Hello, Shane.
Hi.
Thanks for coming back on. Jeff Gabriel, it's been a long time. We are so delighted to have you. Thank you for joining us from the Cayman Islands. Looks like you might have a spaceship behind you. Do you?
I might. Yes, that's a nap pod. Thanks for having me.
Oh, I would much rather see you in the nap pod.
You want me in the nap pod? All right, I can do the nap pod.
That's awesome. Wow, Uni Registry knows how it's done.
Yeah. Here you go.
No way.
Live from the nap pod. I got a little echo in here too.
Wow, that's super cool.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen one. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I was saying I might come down to see your beach and your famous chef's food in your kitchen, but actually it's the nap pod that's the biggest draw.
It's kind of like a dentist chair. That's the best thing I can describe.
I think you just killed it for half our audience. And also joining us, Chris Zuiker, senior broker from Media Options. Thanks for being here, Chris. How you doing?
Good.
Fabulous. Super glad to have you guys. Let's kick it off. First segment, what's new Sherpas? So let's talk about one purchase or sale you've made over the past few weeks, and we'll learn what you paid or received for the domain, why you thought it was a good deal, and how the negotiations progressed. Just remember, don't say what you paid or what you received yet. Shane, you are going first.
I forgot about this. After doing this a million times, I totally forgot we do this.
Was it the nap pod that threw you off?
Yeah, no, I was thinking about taking a nap, actually. I'll do one that just came in today. I sold weedgrower.com. Weedgrower.com.
Weedgrower.com. All right.
Nice.
Jeff, are you awake enough to guess?
You want me to guess on the price? That's what you're saying that he sold it for. I would say probably somewhere around $4,500 would be my assumption. Okay. Chris, what do you think?
Weedgrower.com. I'm going to go close to, I'm going to say $15,000.
Ooh, all right. So we got a big.
Let's say Shane knocked it out of the park.
All right. It is a very, very popular industry or vertical. Shane, what did you sell it for?
Well, actually, I bunted. It was terrible. I don't usually get upset about selling a name. That's not really how I go. But I only sold it for $2,800, and I'll tell you why. Is that name, because weed isn't, and Chris probably knows this as well as anybody, weed is really not the nomenclature a lot of people are using anymore. It's cannabis, marijuana. Weed is kind of a negative connotation in the industry. So I really hadn't gotten too many offers over the years. Actually, I looked at it and I had gotten 1 or 2 over at Uni Registry, and nothing really became of it. And so I was pricing my names down. I went through my list and went through how many offers I'd gotten and names that I liked and didn't like. And I knocked that one down at Afternic. And 2 days later, it gets hit. So, again, I didn't pay very much for it. I paid $500 for it. But so it's not a terrible return. But honestly, if you asked me to sell it for $2,800 and you emailed me, I'd say no, probably 99 times out of 100. So It is what it is. It's gone. You wake up in the morning and it says they've taken the name out of your account, and you look real quick and make sure that you didn't forget to renew it, and then you did email before it. So that's how it went down, and Weed Growers now in the hands. I'm sure it'll be some big company. And
you don't know who bought it then, or you don't
no,
know?
It just went out of the account, so I haven't gotten to see what they set up yet.
Cool.
And so you're saying 2 days after you repriced the buy it now price, it sold.
Yeah.
Do you think that someone was watching it?
I bet you it's pure chance. The only time it's ever been not pure chance is when on Z95, if you remember one show, instead of $15,000, I put $500 in it, and 1 minute later it was out of my account in China. So,
wow.
And that was actually, that was 50x.com is what the name was. Yeah. I repriced it, and I immediately emailed GoDaddy and said, "Can we stop this?" And they said, "That's not how the fast trans. The word fast means high." So,
oh man.
But it's in some points it's good. If anybody said I paid $500 and sold it for $2,800, they probably wouldn't be upset even after commissions. But that was one of those names that I reprice my names every once in a while. If I need a little money, which I was looking to raise some capital, I went and repriced some things I thought might have a chance, and it did. So it's good and bad.
Wow, cool. Good for you.
Yeah, it's interesting. You're saying that cannabis is coming in, weed's going out. I forget. I don't have my email right now, but there's a couple domains I reached out to, and they had weed was in their first. I'm gonna kill the brand, but it's still pretty common out there. I mean, that's why I was going a little bit higher. I mean, I've talked to quite a few of the bigger companies in that industry. They're still willing to put some money down.
Yeah, and I think so. And I talked with Kate Buckley. She was going to the big conference, and we were talking about brands that really were they're still weed oriented, but didn't necessarily have weed or cannabis in the name, more botanical oriented and horticultural oriented. And, it doesn't have to have it in the name. So it's kind of all over the place in the industry.
Yeah.
But, I had a name Mountain Select, which isn't a great name or a terrible name, but it fits that industry pretty well. All my inquiries have been from cannabis people for that name. And it's the same with botany. You wouldn't think, botany is a plant and study of plants, but it makes a good weed brand or cannabis brand. So.
Right.
Yeah, in your line of work, or the horticulture industry, you'd probably rather weed killer than weed grower, huh?
Well, I bought a name leaf spot, and we treat for if you get leaf spot on your plants, you buy chemicals to get rid of it. But all of it, it's a popular weed, cannabis name. Leaf spot is what they were looking. Inquiries have been for the cannabis. And I thought, never in a million years did these names. I think that's what they're going to go for. But that's how they work.
I personally, when I heard the name, you said it, Shane, is that it's not, people don't really call it weed as much anymore. And I immediately thought of the large car dealerships that call their cars pre-owned or certified pre-owned, not a used car. And it's kind of like weed is kind of what you'd buy in college, or you'd buy it on a street corner, but you don't go get weed at a dispensary.
Yeah,
and
typically brand.
Yeah, and when you sell a 2-word, like a weed grower, you don't usually say exactly what you're doing. You're not a weed farmer would be another one that you just be kind of like, meh. I think it's a good name. It's not a bad name, but it's certainly, that's why I just kind of immediately focused on around 4,500 or $5,000, which I think I thought what you got for it isn't something that I think you gave it away. I think you people will always have a little bit of seller's remorse, but I still think you got a pretty fair price for it. Nobody
else offered more in the last 3 years. So.
Well, there you go. Right? What did you pay for it too?
I paid $500. So
what a great return. That's a great job by you. And
we'll keep moving and buy the next name.
Exactly. So
yeah, that's the spirit for sure. All right, Jeff, you hit the nail on the head there. I think with weeds, what you buy in college. And you buy, maybe buy.
I never did that, by the way. Just saying.
Oh, I didn't mean to say that. Although you do look like you're joining us from an LSD trip when the light goes on.
The light turned on. I don't know what the hell was going on before. Let me see if I can do it again. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, that's a good backdrop.
It wakes you when I'm right with something. I'll go like that.
Oh, when you have a great idea.
What you do is you set it for like 20 minutes, and then the light will get a little brighter, and the music gets a little louder and a little louder. That's how it works.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff, what's something that you've bought or sold lately?
Well, I personally, I found this to be a really good story, and this is actually a name that was sold by one of the brokers that works for us, and it's a cheapammo.com. And this buyer came to us in 2010 and offered $200, and we countered him for a good amount of money, and his offers, amongst other offers, went up and down with the political climate as to what was happening. And I don't know if you recall when Hillary was really pushing to ban assault weapons and different kinds of ammunition, and they were tightening up the laws in the states, and then she made her bid for president, and that got even more scary because she became president, and that would all end. But then Trump won, and then we got more inquiries, and more of the people who inquired in the past started to loosen up with their offers, and we ended up selling it. So I don't know what I was supposed to tell you or not tell you, but we just sold it yesterday. We sold it yesterday. I didn't say the amount.
Just don't say the price.
I won't.
Oh.
Yeah, Chris, you go first.
No.
I'll piggyback off yours.
This is my hardest part with domaining is the values. You know, I'm good at the sales side. But cheap ammo, right? Is that what it was?
Yes.
Yep.
Cheap ammo.
This is a really hard one because, I mean, how many people can buy ammunition online? And that's what I go through my mind saying, I'd like, you know, and there's certain states, maybe like Arkansas, that you can, but I'm from Massachusetts. There's no way you're getting bullets in the mail. Yeah. I don't know about Arizona. You guys are kind of on your own out there too. So
yeah.
Carolinas, I'm not sure there either.
I just Googled it. I can get it FedEx to my house, but for safety reasons, we do not accept returns on
it's unsafe going on the way back.
Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna say let's see. First offer was $200. You counted. They came back. I'm gonna say $7,500, and I may be way off here.
Okay. What do you think, Shane?
I'm gonna say it's Uniregistry, and they won't even counter for that. So I'll say much higher. I will say. Yeah, I didn't even know if you could ship ammo in the mail. It doesn't seem like the safest package.
Quite heavy too.
Yeah.
1,000 rounds of ammo. I mean, you're looking at a lot of weight. That's a lot of copper, right?
Yeah, I can't even carry it in my car legally unless it's in a lockbox. So, but I'll still think that when it comes to gun and ammo, money's not a problem. They'll pay a lot. I'll just say $26,500. Thank you.
Whoa. I think Jeff's smiling there.
I just like
I like the way that he raised his hands up like this and went backwards.
Yeah.
The anticipation.
Jeff, are you from Massachusetts?
I am, yeah, born and raised.
Oh, me too. I didn't realize. We'll have to talk more.
That's 2 of the 12 people born there.
Oh, go Red Sox.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you sell it for, Jeff?
We sold it for $25,000.
Boom!
So,
Nice.
There you go, Shane.
Nice.
Right on the money.
Yeah.
Wow, well done. You know, it's a lot like alcohol domains, you know, that you have to have so much legal background if you're going to run a site. You have to know the laws in every single state or country that can access the site. It can get tricky. Was that a concern for your buyers?
Well, I think the buyer who is purchasing the name is in the business, and they were from Kentucky, so I'm not sure if their plans are to sell nationwide or just in a handful of particular states that you're permitted to do so, right? Mm-hmm. We tried to buy for Christmas, one of our friends, someone who lived in Massachusetts, a subscription to get wine of the month, and we couldn't do it in Massachusetts, but we could do it in Rhode Island for our other friends. So, you know, the states are funny. I think you're probably going to, whether or not a state allows you to deliver ammunition to their house, I'm sure you have to check their gun license, make sure that the numbers are real, run them across some sort of a criminal database. I mean, you know, I'm sure there's a lot to it, and it probably costs a lot of money to get into that business to be able to ship the bullets. So if you're going to spend $25,000 on a domain, you've probably invested a lot of time and energy into your business already. I don't know the name of the business that bought it, to be honest. They've always been on a generic email. So sight be seen. I'm excited to see what they do with it.
Very cool. Good sell. I like, Chris, you summed it up when you said boom.
He sure did.
I'm gonna let Shane go first next time and just go right next to Shane. It's interesting because how I came into the industry. I came in through the sales side versus the the investment side, and so for domain valuations, it's always been a little bit tougher for me. But the sales side has been easier, reaching out to people. But
yeah, and I think you're a sport for coming on and giving us your perspectives, because you do talk to end users every day, pretty much all day. And you get a sense for certain industries as you go along. And the ammo industry is not one you come across every day.
No, it certainly isn't. That was a new one for me.
But I mean, ammo prices are going up. I mean, they're from what I've seen, they've skyrocketed. From I used to buy a lot of ammo, so I can see how that'd be would be a valuable term.
Yeah, for sure. All right, Chris, what's something you bought or sold?
Okay. Well, it's one we sold. It's one we sold a while ago, but we can't tell the price. So I did run it by Drew, and he said, no, we can't. But the domain name was ct.com. We sold that, and it was on the Twitter feed. So I don't know if both you saw that sale or not. It was a 2-letter that we sold. So I don't know where you want to go with that, Tess, but.
If Drew said go for it, go for it.
Well, no, Can we say who? Can we say anything?
We can't share a price, though. We can't share a price, but we can announce it because it was, it was announced in the industry, and I know, we both announced it on our. I think Drew announced it on his Twitter feed, so it was out there that we sold it.
Okay, so you want them to guess the price, and then we're not going to tell them?
No. I was saying that I don't have one I can guess the price with, because all the domains I've sold are pretty well strictly under NDA.
So here's what we can do, though. We can still learn from it. So who reached out to who? How did the negotiation start? You look for people, they came into you. So
yeah, the reason I want to bring this one up is that, for me in brokering the bigger domains, and I've sold, I think this is like my 8th 2-letter.com. Some of them take time. I mean, it just takes time to marinate. It takes time to market, to get in front of the right people. In this one, I want to say, we were negotiating for 8 months. I mean, it was a long negotiation. There was things happening on both sides. It dragged on and on. And in total, I mean, we had the domain for, I want to say it was it was a couple of years we were brokering the domain, getting out. So, I mean, the key is that, that the bigger domains, they sell, but it can take time. It can take time to marinate. It can take time for negotiations. But they do sell.
Yeah,
do you remember who came through first, though? That's what everybody's curious about. Is that something?
Oh, no, this is outreach. It was outreach.
Outreach.
Yeah.
So I think we're able to say, and if not, I'll edit it, that we had, the owner of CT.com came to us and they wanted to divest. They're, looking for some to use their assets differently, right? Can we say that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think
that's what selling a name is. So that's pretty.
They're looking to sell the domain.
They wanted to sell it for money. Can we?
For more, yeah. Well, they're looking for more cash in other areas, so that's why they decided, we're not really using this or getting much return off of it. And then I have rarely seen a domain under brokerage for that long, but it was just a matter of finding the right buyer, and then the buyer sometimes has things going on their end.
Well, Chris, I mean, can I ask you some questions?
Well,
yeah,
and also
20 questions.
I'm sorry?
Jeff's going to play 20 questions. Go.
When exactly did you sell it? Because I see there's a Bitcoin trading company on it, so I think the price of the name is definitely going to be relevant to the market. And if it was sold recently, then market obviously is down compared to what it was 6 or 8 months ago. So when did you sell it?
Oh, hold on one second, Jeff. Let me look here. It was last month. It officially closed last month.
Bitcoin was over 10 grand at that point still, or no?
Not
I
last
think
month. It was
Bitcoin
still
was about six in the
six.
sixes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6.
Was the sale price agreed to at the time that it closed or before? And it took a while to complete it.
I mean, it took a while. It took a while to get the mechanisms in place to close it.
Yeah, but you still make a lot of money trading
I would
Bitcoin,
say Bitcoin hadn't invested that much.
Did Bitcoin, was it paid in Bitcoin or was it paid in cash?
It was not paid in Bitcoin.
Yeah, because this place is making money on the trades. It's not making it on Bitcoin,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would say it's going back to timing though. I mean, like one of the things that we have when people come to us with their premium domain names is, well, how long is it going to take? And I think some people think that a domain name is just you're going to hit outreach, it's going to sell very quickly. Sometimes it happens, but in this case right here, it took a while. I mean, it can take. I had one domain. It was a 3-letter. It took us 3 years, over 1,000 contact points. We sold it. At a very good level, but it just takes time. That was my only point in bringing up CT. That is cool. It's a cool sale.
Do you think the C in CT was a factor because the crypto industry is, a big domain buyer these days?
Yeah, crypto trading, of course.
Cointelegraph, perfect fit. Absolute perfect fit.
Yeah. Super cool. Nice work. All right. Thanks, Sherpas. I'm going to tell you about our sponsors for today's show who support us in our mission to educate people in the domain industry. First, serious about online trading? Secure your funds, keep your merchandise safe, and use a company that keeps the buyer and seller protected the whole way through. That's escrow.com. Payments you can trust. All right. In the domain portfolio review, we take a user-submitted domain name portfolios and provide honest and constructive feedback to the owners so they can cut their losses, continue to hold them long-term, or figure out a sales strategy going forward. Today, we have 24 domains, 9 are .com, 3.co.uk, 1.info, 2.io, 3.net, 4.org, 1.uk, and 1.us. So quite the variety. And these were submitted from Paul Angschumann. Jeff, you're up first. Anything on here that really sticks out that you think he could, sell high or anything that catches your eye?
The first one that stuck out to me was trumped, but I don't think that that's a name that I'd probably invest in because that's kind of a term that would go out of, it would kind of probably get burned out pretty soon, especially if he doesn't get reelected. And I looked at some of these others. I wasn't really quite sure what they meant. For some reason, for example, the appraised value of eokul.uk is $156,624, and I was kind of scratching my head as to why. Because when I initially just looked at it and didn't look at the appraised values, I kind of thought that would one that he could drop. And even when I searched it, I was kind of thinking to myself, what is this? I couldn't figure it out. But I think the three ones that kind of stuck out to me that I like, and I'm not totally really in love with any of these, to be totally honest, but I like the KR0. It kind of has a ring to it that I like. Can you pick up the phone and sell it? Not really. Fivl, FIVL.com is okay, and JConsole. We've sold some other console domains for decent money, and that one I just kind of like the sound of that as well. But there's none of these here that I'm saying that these are great. Like for example, this methotexate.org. I'm not really. I know that that's some sort of a pharmaceutical. I don't know what you could do with that, and some of these others. Even hypnotizing. If it was hypnotize.net, I'd really like it, but hypnotizing is kind of a hard one, especially being a .net. And then there's always footjob.co.uk. I don't know what the foot fetish kinds of people are looking for in the UK, but yeah, that. There is an ass for every seat, so maybe there's a big market there. And unfortunately, I didn't really have the time to search it. What do you gentlemen and Tess? What do you think?
All right. Well, thanks, Jeff. Chris, you're up. Anything that you would, renew or that you would think would sell well on NameJet or?
I mean, looking at the list, I wouldn't renew any of them. Upperabdomen.com. I mean, I don't see that really jumps out of me. I really don't. I think what Jeff said, Fivel maybe. I mean, I would say, what do you have inquiries on? If you had inquiries on some of them, maybe that would change mine a little bit. But in general, I don't see anything that I would keep.
And if you got an inquiry or an offer, do you think you should hold out for more or just take it?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, to Jeff's point, maybe some of them he's had. They've had several inquiries that are coming in. Maybe there's some value there. Maybe there's some momentum, right? If there's no momentum on them, then I think I would just drop them. I don't know who you'd. Other than the foot job one, I mean, there may be some place you can reach out to. I don't know.
I think the thing is that I look at is why did you buy them in the first place, and what excited you about them? And there's got to be some information on some of these that we don't know about. I don't know what a pokern is. I looked that up.
So, okay, this is something that I'll say I noticed about this list. Pokern is German for, it's like plural of poker, so like pokers. But then it's combined with co.uk.
UK, yeah.
And so that doesn't make sense. Okay, so then there's a problem there, right? Because that's an English-speaking country.
And if you're going to go into a niche, even if there's a search for it, you don't combine two niches that don't go together and think that's going to work. Like I think that one, Jeff, that you were saying, eokul.uk, that's a Turkish word, but then it's combined with .uk. So even if there's good search or that makes it look good in Esteban, that doesn't.
So what would it mean in terms?
I'll say one thing. Weddingdress.org. Actually, I would keep that one. Weddingdress.org.
Okay.
I think you could sell it.
All right. Guys, what do you think? What would you list weddingdress.org for?
Couple grand.
I'd probably put $2 or $3 grand on it and hope for the best.
Price of a good wedding dress.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Or trade it, Yeah,
there you go. All right, Shane, you have any thoughts on this list?
Yeah,
Superstition.info.
It's disappointing again. Every week I get the list and I can't wait for a list that we can talk about. And instead of talking about, this is like the epitome of one-off. It's like you can change one or two things about every name and make them into a $10,000 name. The net's just plain and simple. If I was going to give anybody any advice, is don't do net. It just, I couldn't even get money for surfboard.net. If I can't get money for surfboard.net, then screw it. I'm out. And so all the nets, just toss those. I did like weddingdress.org. That was the first thing I saw, that it's fine. I think I would definitely hold that one in my account. And then the 4letter.coms are liquid. You'll get $130 for VIWV at GoDaddy, and you'll get $230 at GoDaddy for Fivel. And so those will pay for the renewals, those two for the other junk, but don't make renewals out of them. Just get rid of them. And same thing. I'm sure the .co.uk sells, and I'm sure there's things we don't know about certain languages. But that just makes them less valuable to the rest of the world, and so it decreases them in value. So, I don't pretend to know everything, but I'm pretty sure Celebrex is a trademarked, what a pharmaceutical in the United States. I wouldn't touch that one with a 10-foot pole. I don't know anything. If you say Celebrex, that's the first thing I say. So I try and stay away from names that are, Amazon. Yes, I know Amazon is a jungle and a place, but I can't brand anything on Amazon because that's all they're going to think about is the big store. Celebrex, first thing I think is pharmaceutical, so junk it. Console name.
LA Flight.
And I was thinking Spanish, La Flight, or French. Yeah, I mean, are you gonna run a whole website on flights out of LA? I just don't think that's another thing. You just have to think about each name, and all four of us here would say no, no, no in 5 seconds on every single name. So once you've gotten to that point, just keep moving on there. And Josh, who was on at DSAD last week, in 10 minutes he could come up with a better list than this on hand rag, just scrolling through available names. So it just shows that unfortunately a great donation to Fred Hutchins, and we appreciate his time, but he needs to do a better job on picking names.
Yeah, and not combining either a niche and a niche or a TLD like .net, or with if it's already subpar, or certainly not, web.de or web-de, I assume is for the German, and then it's on a co.uk again or a .org. Like, it's just too much.
Yeah, adding INGs and ERs and other forms of the verb, it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's not a practical use, and it's not a brand that anybody's going to build on. That's a question number one. If I owned a company, do I put my name on any of these names? JConsole, maybe. Weddingdress.org, maybe. RFE.io, there's a chance. You list that on park.io, and you might get $100 for it. But
and then cut your losses with the rest. Yeah,
and half the world doesn't spell globalization, and the people that do don't live in the U.S. So why do you combine the two? It's just all around. So there's no beating him down anymore. It's just not a great choice of domain picking.
Yeah, I mean, you can almost see his thought process, but it's just, missing that little tweak. And Paul, hopefully we gave that to you, and next time you'll have a more educated list, and, keep growing. Good for you for sending it.
That's what we talk about all the time, is we need to have some of these people we've blasted come back in a year with their next list and see how much better it's gotten. So far, we got 0 takers, and whoever does that, I'll pay the Fred Hutchins fee if they want to come back and try it again.
Thank you. Yeah, that would be awesome. Let's jump on in to our next segment. First, I'll tell you again about our sponsors who support us in our educational mission. We'll move on to the marketplace list. This segment is sponsored by NameJet. We're reviewing domains headed to auction soon. If you like one of the names below, click through soon, because once they go to auction, you lose the chance to put in a minimum bid, or even just to watch the auction. So it's great to watch it and learn from that. We have 20 domains, 19.com and 1.net, just for you, Shane. Chris, you're up first on this. What are your thoughts?
He thinks he needs to turn his microphone on.
Oh.
I had it off because I'm dying here. My office gets so hot. Anyways, I had the fan on. So yeah, there's several I like on here. I do think have some potential. And personal assistant, it is long. I mean, I think it's all depends upon the price you get them at. And I didn't check what's happening right now with the prices, but I think it depends upon the price you get it at. I think there's some movement, and I'm only saying that, I guess, because from personal assistant standpoint, that's something that I'm looking for help. I think Drew's looking for help, right? I mean, it's a very real term. It's a very real need, and you don't know where to search, right? I mean, there's little companies everywhere. So I think that keyword domain could have some possibility.
Well, there's only so many terms for a virtual assistant these days. So you can either call them a personal assistant, a virtual assistant. I mean, and after that, it kind of falls off a cliff. So I agree with you. I like this name. It's long and it's hard to spell. I think many people would probably spell this wrong. So if you're actually going to turn it into a business, you better register every variation. I don't know how many S's you want to do, but it's going to be all over the place.
Then again, if you can afford a personal assistant, you can hopefully you can.
But I know a person in business who has multiple virtual personal assistants that he's hired through a company that do different tasks for him. And he's not paying them each $40 hours a week or 50 hours a week. He's paying them maybe like 5 or 6 hours a week to do certain tasks for his business and handling different responsibilities that he can count on him for. So it's not like the personal assistant you think of in a movie where they're following you around. It's really just looking for that. And that's a legitimate service that's out there, and it's a good one. So I think that's a pretty good name. I like it.
Well, I think too, it's I mean, if you get it for a good price, I mean, is there a number of small, hobby startups that would buy that, right? That are starting up a a small thing. Could you flip it quick? I think you probably could. There's quite a few, I've seen quite a few new companies out there around that theme. So I did like that one. Countryside, I like that one. I think there's some opportunity there. I liked Brand Nation, and I liked Ranked Faster.
Yeah, straight to the point. Rank faster.
Yeah. I think it could be a brand. It could be a marketing campaign. I think it's all what you get it for. But I did like those.
Yeah, good call. Thank you, Chris. All right, Shane, what stood out to you?
Well, I love Countryside. There's thousands of entities named Countryside. I mean, there's a Countryside something school, daycare. I mean, there's a Countryside probably in every town that you go to. So, when it comes to selling, it's how many people can use the name that makes it important. And Countryside probably has as many as any name on the list. So that's a really good one. I like Power Grid. I mean, I think solar energy and batteries. We talk about it being the future, but it's crazy around here. We're in a nice open field, farmland, Illinois, and investors will put all your solar panels in for free as an investment in a tax haven, and then all they do is you just pay half your tax bill. So you put nothing up front. You take your tax or your tax bill, your power bill, divide it in half. They keep that money, and they get to write off the solar. So pretty much everybody here who has a farm has a solar grid. We call it I forgot what the name of it, but anyway, everybody seems to have one. And so I think solar power will be pretty much every roof that you see everywhere. So anything power related, I think is probably a good buy if it's short. So Power Grid fits in that one.
Yeah.
Brand Nation, I feel like I've already gone to their concerts. It sounds like
that. What was that, Shane?
I feel like I've already been to a Brand Nation concert. Some sponsored by Brand Nation, having some singers out there. I tell you the ones that it's a good name, and somebody's going to think it's worth a lot, but like Natural Supplement. I know it's a decent marketing name, and I know it has value. Don't get me wrong. It's just not the kind of name that I like at this point in time, because as a company, it pretty much puts me in just a general form with everybody else. Doesn't make me special at all. Everybody sells natural supplements. And so I think a name like that does nothing to differentiate you between any other brands other than owning the category. Just don't get me wrong. I think it has value. I know it has value, and I know that it can be used and sold, but it's just not exciting to me when it comes to other things. I'd much rather be on the Chugger brand. Chugger to me has some fun to it. It's a brand that the kids would if I got an 18-year-old coming to spend money, they're probably going to spend a lot of money on Chugger versus naturalsupplement.com. But, I know people would disagree with that, but that's just kind of my personal taste.
I agree with you based on my outreach. I think I would say you're right.
I think Countryside's great. Shane, I noticed when you were talking about natural supplement, you kept saying the plural, natural supplements.
Yeah.
So immediately that's a red flag to me when people keep changing the name of what it is. I highlighted 5 of these that I thought would be kind of interesting. And Countryside, I know you don't like the .nets, but info.net should be an exception.
Well, that's kind of a special .net.
Yeah, it is a special exception to your rule. Info.net, if you can get that for a cheap price, I'd buy that.
Yeah.
Chugger.com, that's a fun brandable. If you just bring it up to anybody and you say it to someone, even if you change your email address to like me, jeff@chugger.com, if I knew no one was buying it, I think that's a great novelty and people are going to smile when you say it. And the other one I put out there, and I don't even think it's that great, but Oceanus is okay, but it's not, I don't know. Is it spelt wrong? I didn't check the spelling on it.
I don't even know that was a real word, to be honest with you.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
It sounds like an airline from 1984.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oceanus.com.
Is that the one that crashed and lost?
Yeah, exactly. Wasn't that the one in Lost? Yeah.
So Jeff, not only are you in the super cool napping pod right now, but you are very close to the famous disco room. I feel like Chugger.com should have a picture like of a guy in the disco room looking up at the disco ball, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can instantly see something in your head. And I think that's,
Remember that video? Do you remember that video game when they'd throw the beer mugs down the bar and you'd have to catch them and drink them, and then you had to go back and forth through the floor?
Oh yeah, that was called.
Was that called Chugger?
No, what was that called? No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have no idea what you're talking about.
yeah,
Oceanus was a Greek god, by the way. He was Titan, god of the sea.
Oh.
That's a pretty good name. And then the game from the 80s, let's see what it was called.
Root Beer Tapper?
Root Beer Tapper, that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah, Tapper is what
I used to call it Beer Tapper, but they changed it to Root Beer Tapper.
Yeah, it was just
like they've really got us fooled that it's a root beer going down the bar.
Yeah, I remember playing that as a kid, yeah.
They must have been with your ammo people who got caught up in some of those laws.
Yeah.
Only
So if you
people our
re-released
age
it, if you re-released
much younger.
Sugar, I think that'd be a good game.
All right, that's your next side project?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I think too, when we look at, we talked a lot about natural supplement, and I know we hear the great story about whiskey.com and how which brother, somebody help me, David?
Costello Brothers.
Yeah,
David,
but which one?
David Costello.
We just treat him as one.
Michael Costello is the one that was part of that, yes.
Okay, so Mr. Costello.
The music one and the Laguna Beach one is how I do it.
Hi, guys. Come on the show, please. But he had this story that he went to a whiskey festival, and he went up to talk to people to think about maybe having them advertise on his site, or I think he didn't even really know what he was going to do yet. And they started you're with whiskey.com? And they started taking pictures of him. They wanted him in their picture. They're bragging that they were with the whiskey.com guy, and he didn't even have a website or a business yet. But I think sometimes it can get confusing. That doesn't apply to naturalsupplement.com. Just because it's a, category killer. It's not this, nobody's going to want your picture because you're with naturalsupplement.com.
Well, I think missing the S is huge.
Yeah. I think Jeff had a great point.
Yeah. And for the record, Power Grid, I feel like that's a tech startup. I don't think, I could see solar, whatever, but that's boring.
That could be anything. That's what a great name is if all four of us name some other, category, that's the best name out there.
Yeah.
Right.
If I bought one name on this list, it would be powergrid.com. I like it.
The name of my 80s band to go with my airline.
Hey, dude, aren't you from Power Grid?
We're here at Oceanus, man.
I love the imagination that domainers get branded as geeky and alone at home on their computers, but it takes a lot of imagination.
No, we're still pretty geeky.
But you've got an airline and a disco.
Just laying in a nap pod, as you say, that we're not.
Right. Oh, that's funny.
Good times. Thanks, guys. So we're that felt really quick. We're at the end of the show. Now it's your turn. Just shout outs. What's going on in your life, in your business, any new projects you're excited about, anything you're looking for. Let's start out with you, Shane. What's going on in your world?
Well, I actually have something, it's not, I normally don't have much to talk about but the blog, but today is a little special. I'm actually having my first fundraiser of my life, to be honest with you. I've never, ever raised money. Even as a kid, when I was supposed to sell candy bars, I would mow a lawn and buy all the candy bars because I hated to go ask somebody to buy something from me.
Sounds just like me.
Got home from school, I just bought all of it. I have 70 things of cookie dough in my freezer from 3 years ago because I refused to sell it to my friends. I hate those kind of things. But I've talked about it here, and I talk about it on the blog. I do mission work in Kenya in E10, and it's I've been working with runners there. I'm an avid runner. It's what I do for a living. It's what makes me feel good. And I was happy. One of my running partners is a medical doctor for University of Illinois, and I have friends at Duke Medicine. And So we've been going over to Kenya and helping all the people that aren't champions, that they're still runners. They still want to be runners. They would be the fastest people in the United States if they came here, but they're 200th over there. So they live in poverty. There's no running water. The infrastructure is terrible. And so long story short, we're trying to set up something to have doctors train there, because this isn't working of us going for 2 weeks and then leaving. That makes the other 50 weeks no good. So we're working on setting up, we want doctors to come train the doctors, and the doctors are coming over there, but there's nowhere to stay. You're living in a hut. You don't have any place to stay. And then none of the doctors will come from the universities in Kenya because there's no good place to stay. So it's starting from the ground up. And we saw, just in 1 year, we saw huge success. We got an x-ray machine and a dialysis clinic all in a year. So, but I just can't keep funding it myself. So I'm trying to raise a little bit of money. We're just starting with about 3,000. I'm going to start with simple things. Like the biggest thing I did is they were playing, and you see this in the movies, but they're playing soccer with a ball made out of plastic bags. They tied up real tight. And they're out there playing, and they don't even care. They're absolutely having a great time. I throw one soccer ball in the middle of that school, and it's like I threw money down in Atlanta. I mean, that's how awesome it was. So if I can just start with a soccer ball and then talk to there's just all these things, and we're making pretty good progress. And I've been so fortunate in my life to have everything running has been amazing to me. So it's just time for me to get back. And again, that hasn't been me. I've been a selfish person for a long time. My blog's been about me. My life's been about me, and it's kind of time to change a little bit. So that's what I've been doing. That's something I focused on the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to go for the month of January. I'll be in Kenya the whole time, and I'm coming back for NamesCon. So I missed it last year because I was in Kenya, but this year I'm not going to miss it. It's time to shake some hands and keep the business going too. So there you go.
Wow.
So I actually have something going on.
That's awesome, Shane. Is there somewhere that the Sherpa Network can contribute,
you can go to DSAD. I'll have a little banner up there. It describes what I'm doing. And you don't have to donate anything. I've been telling everybody, if you give $5, that's fantastic. If you don't do anything, give your own time. Find something that you like and give your time. If you don't want to give money, give your time to somebody else and do something good. And that's just not words. It's something that it's taken me 50 years I'm 50 years old and haven't done shit for anybody else, and it's time I did. So I wish there's more in the United States. I'd like to do more local. Some people kind of give me some hell from not doing more local work, but a person's a person. If you find that person on the other side of the world, it doesn't matter as long as you're helping somebody.
Yeah,
it's where you connect too, Shane. You connected there, so
yeah. And you have a beautiful blog article that you wrote today with a bunch of pictures on dsad.com. And a link there to the charity if people want to donate.
Yeah, and there's a website that kind of says what we're doing. The doctors all write a little bit. They're going to start blogging. The doctors, they have a different way of thinking than we do as a marketing company. We're better at marketing what we're doing. And I'm trying to explain to them they need to show others what they're doing. It's one thing to do it, but you're not bragging by taking pictures and writing journals. You're explaining what you're doing so that others can help or be inspired to help. And so that's what I'm trying to do a little bit more of is, hey, here's what we're doing. And every time I do it, that story I tell about the soccer ball, I'm going to videotape that story. It's good in word, but wait till you see it on tape. Wait till you see these kids get this soccer ball. It's nothing I can describe. And, if I could relive that 10 more times, it's worth going over there. So
right.
It does take money. It's $2,000 to go over there. Every doctor we bring costs $2,000 to get them there. And doctors, they cover their own way. It's not like they're not donating plenty of time and money, but at the same time, you want to bring as many people as you can.
Yeah, for sure. Very cool. Well, thank you. Awesome. Good for you. We'll keep watching. I just tweeted it right now. I tweeted a link to your fundraiser. All right, now you guys.
I will say this: my first person to donate was Stephen Kennedy, but Gary Chernoff gave a very nice donation, and that was pretty touching. He's one of my favorite people in the industry, and he's a kind of a legend. So for him to kick it off, I was like, man, it felt pretty special. All right, that's enough.
That's awesome.
Super cool. Awesome. Super cool. Now, Jeff, no matter what you say, you're going to sound like a.
Well, that's quite an admirable thing that Shane's doing, and tip my cap to you. So that's a really good thing. I'd love to see some pictures and all that, and look forward to talking to you about it at NamesCon. That sounds like a great experience. And I'll definitely donate some money, and I'll ask the guys here in the office to see if they want to put me up too. So, what have we been doing? What have we been doing? Well, today we are releasing. Well, we've released. It's in the App Store right now. Our new email app. So people can go and register a name and then have their email set up. Just kind of like it's very like lightning. It's a very simple way to do it, and it's very elegant and beautiful. That. Me personally, I'm the brokerage side of things. I don't really have much to do with it, but our development team and Frank and our designers and all of them have been working tirelessly to hit this deadline. And I was actually over at Frank's desk right before. I was like, oh shit, I got to get on DomainSherpa, and he just refreshed his phone, and then the new version of the app popped right up into his phone. So it just got released minutes ago. I'm not trying to save the world, but we do have our Christmas party on Friday. So a lot of our sales guys are coming down to Cayman. And I wish that I was able to keep the original date instead of rescheduling, because we would have had kind of bonkers going on around me when this was going on. So you guys could have seen everybody. But unfortunately, I don't have that. And then just, I'm blessed to have a wonderful wife and a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old. So we're just really enjoying those times with the little guys, especially on the island. The island really does it up with all the Christmas lights and all kinds of activities. So it's a great time to be alive. So
and 5 years old is a gret Christmas. That's maybe
it is.
Yeah, it's a fun age. That's a fun age.
My son, it couldn't be a happier and more grateful kid, and I'm just lucky all the way around. So and that's it. That's what I got.
That's fantastic, Jeff. Good to hear. Congrats on the new app. And I hope so you fly, so Uniregistry, or I don't know how you name everything, if you keep calling it Uniregistry or you call it then domain name sales, but you fly in all your sales guys from wherever they are in the world. Where are they all?
Oh, we have 2 offices. We have one in Manchester, England. We have one in Cayman, and we also have one in England, in Newport Beach. But where the salespeople are, we have people who are in Manchester and here in Cayman, and then we have people in the U.S., Canada, China, Turkey. I mean, all over the place. And so most of the people in the northern hemisphere are flying here for this party, and then on December 15th, we're having another party in Manchester, England, and we'll get to see like the gentleman from Turkey, and then our brokers from China and some of the other places on the earth will fly there. And yeah, we fly everybody together, so it's a great time.
That's fabulous.
Sounds like fun. Yeah.
I want to see pictures of the disco light in use.
We don't do the party in the office, but yeah, I'll put on the disco light for you. No problem.
Doesn't matter. No office should have a disco light that doesn't get used.
All right, I'll put it on. No problem.
Very, very important priorities here.
Absolutely. I understand.
All right, Chris, you're up, man. What's going on?
Okay, battling the sun here. I think we need to talk to Drew about going to Portugal now. Now that Jeff set the bar here.
Tell Drew to open his wallet. Let's do it. Come
on. Yeah.
I was thinking the whole show, but maybe just the company.
Yeah. We made it down to Panama, but I'm excited to go to Portugal. Panama was fun, but I think Portugal's going to be real neat. For us, I think the big thing would be going over to MIDIoptions.tv. Check our new YouTube channel out. We got more videos going up there, and 2 to 5 minutes, some maybe 10 minutes. But check it out. Subscribe to it. We're gonna have new videos, probably 2 to 4 a week. Gonna be coming out there. It's gonna be some past Super shows, some original content. I don't know, but check it out. Subscribe to it. That'll be the biggest thing.
Very cool. Thanks, Chris.
Right.
Yeah. On my end, I'm a little nervous and excited. I'm getting ready I will be the moderating the Domain Sherpa panel at NamesCon. So I'm super excited to do that. And we're finalizing all the details. But that should be interesting. Mike Zuiker has done such a fabulous job, not only with this show, but at the conferences for so long. So I got literally some big shoes to fill. So
no, I think they're only like size 9. They're not huge.
And Mike does do a great job.
He does.
Yeah, I'll make a little clip and send that to him, Shane.
He watches. I know he watches because instantly he emails me afterwards. I always forget, this goes Monday after we tape, and I kind of forget about it in the meantime. And all of a sudden Monday morning, bing, Zuiker, hey, what did you say about me? Nothing. I'll let everybody know we don't cut hardly anything. I mean, there might be an F-bomb every once in a while, but you'll be fine on stage because we don't cut anything when we're doing this. There's not much to do, so you'll be just fine.
Oh, thanks.
You're not a recorded. You're a live artist. You're not a recording artist.
Well, I just can't wait to see what our producer does with this show with the glowing halo behind Jeff's head. I really want to get some like screenshots and
this is like an editing nightmare. I'm having a feeling.
Yeah, they pick the worst, whatever the worst faces on the grid they can pick. That's what your editor picks. It's bad enough being a balding, gray-bearded man, and he picks me like mid-laugh or.
That's funny. That's funny. And now he's gonna pick you that. Now he's gonna make sure.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Oh man. Well, thank you guys. This was a great show. Jeff, absolutely fantastic to have you back on. Can't wait to see you again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you.
We don't need Drew. We can keep this panel. We're good.
Yeah. Drew who?
Drew.
All right, Sherpa Network. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thanks.